Yes, my friends, things are getting pretty heated behind the scenes with the Rams, and the latest news has been generating a lot of opinions across the internet. The full 2026 schedule has been released, and there are some important storylines hidden within it that could shape the entire season right from the start. Later in this video, I also want to talk about 3 players who could surprise a lot of people next season. Before I tell you all the details, make sure you've already hit the like button. But only do that if you agree with me that the Rams are capable of beating the 49ers on September 10th in Australia. Man, I really believe that. If possible, write this. Go Rams! Let's go to the Super Bowl. In just a moment, I'll talk more about the schedule release. But first, I want to talk about these players. 3 names have started appearing more and more often in conversations about possible breakout surprises for the 2026 season. Max Klare, Davis Allen, and C.J. Daniels. While many fans remain focused on the roster's biggest stars, analysts and team observers are beginning to pay attention to a quiet battle that could directly impact the future of the offense. What once looked like just a fight for playing time is now gaining momentum as a potential unexpected storyline of the season. Max Klare is emerging as one of the names generating the most curiosity. With interesting physical traits and the ability to contribute in different offensive situations, he's being viewed as a player who could bring something new to the Rams' system. Some believe he could exceed expectations and become an important weapon throughout the season. Davis Allen enters a moment of pressure. Increased competition means every practice and every opportunity is under scrutiny. On a roster that keeps getting more competitive, the battle for playing time has intensified, and now the big question is whether he can respond on the field and solidify his role in the offense. C.J. Daniels, on the other hand, looks like the type of player who slowly starts drawing attention. Without the same level of early hype, he's beginning to gain traction in discussions and projections among those who follow the team closely behind the scenes. Every season has that player who comes out of nowhere and ends up surprising a lot of people. Some are already wondering if CJ could follow that exact path. And what about you? Who would you bet on to be the biggest surprise on offense in 2026? Now, let's talk about the challenges the Rams will be facing. This isn't just another NFL schedule release. This is one of those moments when fans can start connecting the dots and see exactly what kind of road Sean McVay and this team are about to travel. And Rams fans, this road is filled with pressure, huge opportunities, massive tests, and it may be one of the toughest paths we've seen in recent years. The first thing that immediately stands out is something that could impact the season before the first snap is even played: the travel. The Rams are expected to travel more than 34,000 miles this season, making this the second consecutive year with one of the highest travel totals in the NFL. That number by itself is insane. And once you start understanding why, things become even more intense. Week 1 isn't opening at SoFi Stadium. Week 1 isn't opening in San Francisco. Week 1 isn't opening anywhere in the United States. The Rams are heading all the way to Australia for the first NFL game there, facing the San Francisco 49ers in a game that already feels gigantic before the season even starts. Think about this for a second. A divisional game against one of your biggest rivals on another continent to begin the season. That is not easing into the year. That is jumping directly into chaos. And whether Rams fans want to admit it or not, this matchup carries pressure immediately. Because divisional games always matter. We saw how close NFC West races have become. Tiebreakers decide playoff spots. One loss in September can become a disaster in January. If the Rams start by taking down the 49ers on an international stage, the message gets sent instantly. Los Angeles isn't here to slowly warm up. They're here to make noise immediately. And after Australia, the schedule somehow becomes even more wild. Because Sean McVay and company return home for Monday Night Football against the Giants. Then Sunday Night Football against Denver. 3 straight nationally featured games. 3. That tells you everything you need to know about where the Rams currently stand around the league. Remember years ago when Rams fans constantly joked that the team never received primetime attention? Those days are gone. The league now sees the Rams differently. The NFL clearly believes this team belongs on center stage. And honestly, that matters, because primetime games aren't just about TV ratings. They're statements. The NFL flexes who they believe people want to watch, and Los Angeles is getting showcased over and over. But there's another detail hidden in those early games that could reveal a lot about this roster. The Giants' matchup could instantly test the secondary, especially in key one-on-one situations. Then Denver arrives with another dangerous offense. Suddenly, we're not talking about easy openings anymore. And then comes Philadelphia, on the road, against a team that has caused Rams fans pain before. Then Buffalo, on Monday Night Football. Pause for a moment and really look at this opening stretch. 49ers, Giants, Broncos, Eagles, Bills. That is brutal. Absolutely brutal. And here's why this may define the season before Halloween even arrives. The opening 5 games contain playoff-level intensity almost every week. There is almost no breathing room, no gradual buildup, no soft runway. You either survive or you spend the rest of the season chasing recovery. And Rams fans know this team has been through difficult schedules before. Sean McVay has dealt with pressure before. Matthew Stafford has handled big moments before. But this one feels different because the challenge isn't spread evenly. It's stacked. Everything arrives immediately. And when you survive a difficult opening stretch like that, it can create momentum that carries throughout an entire season. Then comes what might look like relief. Arizona, then the Raiders. On paper, those games may feel easier. But Rams fans know better than anyone that NFL seasons don't work that way. Looking ahead is dangerous. Because if the Rams stumble in games, they should win. Everything changes. Everything. The teams with serious playoff expectations cannot afford surprise losses, especially with what waits later, because hidden further down this schedule is something that should make every Rams fan nervous. Very nervous. The back end of this season looks like a war zone. Green Bay around Thanksgiving, Kansas City shortly after, San Francisco again, Dallas, Seattle twice near the end. And that Seattle situation deserves its own conversation. Because somehow the Rams don't see the Seahawks until Week 16. Then they see them twice during the final stretch. That timing feels massive. Imagine playoff implications. Imagine division races. Imagine arriving in late December with everything on the line. That could become absolute madness. And Rams fans already understand what Seattle games can become. They're emotional. They're physical. They're stressful. And putting 2 matchups there at the end feels like something that could completely swing the NFC West. So now the big question becomes this. Can Sean McVay and Matthew Stafford guide this team through one of the toughest schedules in football and put the Rams exactly where they want to be when January arrives? Because if they survive the opening storm and handle the brutal finish, this season could become something very special. What do you think, Rams fans? Is this schedule setting the Rams up for a deep playoff run? Or did the NFL just hand Los Angeles one of the toughest challenges in the entire league?